Most Venerable Eriyagama Dhammajiva Thero, and dear friends in the Dhamma, we would like to welcome you for today's session. First, our plan is to have a Dhamma talk for the benefit of all the people, and also there will be some practice, meditation, walking and sitting meditation practice. So thank you for accepting our invitation to come to this session today. So I don't have to introduce Most Venerable Dhammajiva Thero, because he is a renowned meditation teacher in Sri Lanka and also the other part of the world. Many countries he is conducting meditation sessions and also giving Dhamma talk. He is doing wonderful service, and also the teaching the Dhamma, and also especially for the people to learn and practice meditation. So he is the head of the Nissarana Meetirigala Nissarana Vanaya. That means the meditation center in Sri Lanka. So he is very famous for meditation, and also he has done a good work to teach the meditation for the children. They are starting Satipasala. So he has done that service, and also he has given a lot of lectures you can find in his website. So today there's no Venerable Sri Levimal, head of the Vihara at the Vihara in this place. But we would like to welcome on behalf of all the Dayakas and the London Buddhist Vihara for this session. Thank you very much.
Dear Venerable Sir, Dhamma friends, we have almost 3 hours. I thought of delivering a talk for the early part of this session, and then as time permits to practice little bit of walking meditation as well as sitting meditation, and then have a discussion. So my early part of the talk will be some basically on the guidelines for walking meditation and sitting meditation, and together with some kind of a sermon. And if you have any question or any points to be clarified, we can make use of the last part of our session. So as a traditional way of starting of a Dhamma talk, may you all give the concept with 3 times. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Appamado amata padang pamado machuno padang appamatta namiyanti ye pamatta yata matati ti. Venerable Sir, Dhamma friends, this is a very famous stanza. You find it Dhammapada, and often people quote this stanza because it's a kind of a gist of the teaching of the Buddha. It's very difficult to put the Buddhist teaching into a nutshell, but Appamada is instead a kind of a meaning of the whole monastic code as well as the Sutta Pitaka. So therefore, that may be the reason why this is being quoted again and again. Simple translation says, Appamada as diligence. Diligence is the way for everlasting living. Amatapadam. And Pamada, negligence, is leading to the death. So knowing that if we have any fear of death, we have to avoid the negligence and develop diligence or vigilance so that you will be everlasting. And that is a kind of a teaching in Buddhism and not found in any other religion. And this one, that way of living everlasting way, Amatapada, is in this very life, not in another realm, in this life. So the Buddha, the first one, experienced it, and of course he hesitated to share with others, thinking that it will be very profound. But anyway, being a pragmatic, he decided to share with us. That means 2,660 years, 560 years ago. And still that we are again and again reciting, reiterating, and try to feel the real meaning of this Appamada. So, Appamada, of course, when you go to the Sri Lankan language, Pamada, Appamada are the antonyms. Pamada is very famous. People are very delayed. Today we supposed to work at 3 o'clock. We started at 3:10. 10 minutes delay. So that is Pamada. So that is very specific. When you are going to do teamwork, a few kind of delays can happen. So we excuse it and continue. Let's go Pamada. Appamada means sharp time, diligence, as well as the place. So that is the way the Buddha gave or catalyzed our life to work in a sharp time and sharp place. So that is how we respect the gathering. Otherwise, people are waiting and it's a wastage of time. So that is making very efficient to work in the community as well as in one's way of life. So this Appamada as a synonym, when you study research through the teaching of the other parts of the Buddha with sati, that's a mindfulness. In commentarial exegesis, Appamada and sati considered as synonyms. So nowadays in the Western countries as well as other Asiatic countries are very, very keen about this mindfulness. And when we are defining mindfulness, it appears like a technical term, but Appamada is a very social term. We can share with other people. More than Appamada, the popular term is mindfulness. So today, within this 3 hours time, within this session, we try our best to understand the meaning of Appamada and sati, or diligence and the mindfulness, that's the theoretical understanding, and as much as possible deductive learning or the rational meaning and argumental meaning, and then put into practice. There may be some participants, they are already aware of this theoretical meaning and this deductive inferential meaning, and some practical meditation sessions also. There may be some newcomers also. So it's my duty to introduce this in a gradual way, so that at least to learn it in a book knowledge, theoretical knowledge, Suttamaya Jnana in Pali. So therefore, Appamada, I use the mindfulness as a synonym, is to be here and now. That's the way present day it is being taught. And the canonical way, the sati, mindfulness says chirakatampi, chirabhasitampi, salita, anusarita. If you are diligent and if you are mindful to do something, you can remember things you have heard much earlier and whatever you have mentioned. That your memory will be very clear. So that part we quote again and again in mindful school when we are introducing this to the children, because they want to memorize. If you are to memorize, when you are learning, you must be mindful. You wholeheartedly you are learning. You must be diligent. So that's the way we can remember whatever the thing we have learned. And if you are in a classroom, you have to be here and now. That is because if you are not really geared to be mindful and diligent, your mind often wander off or daydreaming, fantasizing, bewildered to the past and the future, as far as the time dimension is concerned. So therefore, you have to first understand this is the natural way of untrained mind, unmindful mind, or negligent mind, either worrying about the past or excited about the future. So therefore, to keep it in the present moment is not a natural thing. You have to put some effort to keep it now. And the other dimension is the space. When you are here, your bodily you are here, but you may be thinking about the other place, at your home, or at your school or office. So therefore, that is also yet another displacement. So by definition, it says you have to be here and now. So keep the mind here and now, we call mindful mind. We call diligent mind. So when you are trying to apply into yourself, you may see, though it's a kind of a restraint, the natural mind is, we simply put, we call monkey mind, jumping past and future, other places and other people. So to keep here, now I am, is a kind of a pivotal point, kind of a benchmark. So each and everyone has to understand, I have to select my benchmark, I have to select my pivotal point and to be here and now. So that when and where you manage to be appamada or diligent or vigilant, that mind is everlasting. The present moment is everlasting. Whenever you are in the past, hankering about the past and the future excitement, other people and other places, that mind is subject to the tension, the frustration and the death and the fear and everything. So knowing that difference between that pamada and apamada, unmindful and mindful mind, one has to think about one's own well-being. If you are not well learned, if you are not well studied, mind will try to teach you, try to guide you, telling not to be mindful and not to be in the present moment will be the well-being. I have to think about my well-being and I have to find wealth and then education, gain, the fame and everything. So that is the well-being. That's the way the untrained mind is happening. But instead the Buddha and some of the other religious leaders also try to teach the same. Keep it here and now. So whenever you are keep it here and now, to be mindful and to be diligent and vigilant, how can you verify it is for your well-being? The keeping the mind in the present moment and the keeping the mind in the mindful and the diligent way is one task. Some people do it out of faith, but some people wanted to verify it. They wanted to see the benefit under one's own nose. So for that we have few methods, we have few postures the Buddha prescribed, and traditions are maintaining it. So we are trying to do few, so that we can, after the practice, not only by listening and theoretical understanding, we can verify whether I can be mindful, whether that the mindfulness that I learn and practice is the real mindfulness, or whether it is for your well-being. But the last aspect, whether it is for your well-being or not, very, very difficult to prove within a short period. Whenever someone practicing for longer time, he or she is open to see the well-being. Basically, you understand the well-being in terms of not defiling your mind, not doing transgressions, not doing unwanted things, or in the global way, not to contribute to the global warming, not to contribute you towards pollution. So these things take longer time, but anyway we can get our own benefits in the momentary basis, or we can as a group contribute you. In long run it will prove. For that we can, the basic thing the Buddha presented for specifically for the beginners is mindful sitting. You can see the Buddha image where the Buddhists think this is the way the Buddha was practicing mindfulness in sitting. And yet another method, yet another posture is while doing walking up and down, how to be mindful. And the third aspect is, even if you leave London Buddhist Vihara, even if you go home, there may be some activities in your day-to-day life, you can be mindful. And when it is happening, you can incorporate both in the religious places as well as in your place, and then gradually you have to amend and adjust your way of life. That is how you can incorporate appamada into the one's own life. Early parts of the appamada and the mindfulness we can do as a group, but when it is advancing, you will see that's the nature of the mind. You will get a distance and you try to be isolated or solitude places. That's what we call the religious places. That is what we call the meditation centers. That's why we call the forests. That's why we call under the trees. Or empty places. Empty place means free of sensuous pleasure. So we consider London Buddhist Vihara is a kind of a place where we can give an introduction and start and to continue. That's what we call the temples and the meditation centers and kind of thing. So I would like to give little instructions or guided meditation and to practice mindful sitting as a group. So I would say you can just see the Buddha image. That is the theoretical maximum. Sitting in a, we call lotus posture, full lotus posture. But it's a very difficult thing. I am practicing mindfulness now more than 40 years, so I can sit and wait with the lotus posture little more than 30 minutes. But if I am going to say everyone must sit in the lotus posture, you will leave the room instead of giving a try. So one thing is sitting in such a way so that the complete triangle is touching the ground. This is theoretical, this is the maximum I am telling. I am just, don't try, you won't crucify yourself. And upper part of the body must be fairly erect so that your respiratory system is symmetrical, no restriction for your breathing. This is the most lasting architectural posture, or we call pyramid. Easy to maintain this posture. Of course, sleeping is much better, but it is leading to sleepiness, slimy mind. But this is, you have to maintain, but with the least amount of energy. So once you prepare the posture, you have to check whether you are in a comfortable level, and two criterion we can mention. Your left side of the body and the right side of the body must be symmetrical. So make it balanced. And your limbs, hands and the legs must be relaxed. And the upper part of the body not rigid, but as straight as possible. After keeping that, you have to cut off as much as possible all the sensuous impingements, sensuous signals. So I would suggest close your eyes mildly so that you can do away with visual objects and shapes. There may be some mental images and shapes that is you can't do away with. And the second thing is, we are not making any noises, sounds, and place also not giving, even though we are very close to the main road, there is no much of distracting sounds. Your nose and the tongue usually do not make that much of sensuous impingements, because atmosphere is natural and we are not talking, we are not eating something, so the tasting and verbal expressions are not there. Body also we fixed in such a way, few minutes the body posture can maintain by itself. So after cutting off this visuals, sound, olfactory, taste and the touch, see what is happening in your mind. Mind is naturally worried about the visual objects if it is coming in, sounds, smells, taste and the touch. And voluntarily we cut off as much as possible and then see what is happening to the mind. How much it is happy with this present moment, here now I am, or it make mental images and proliferating, worrying about the past or future excitements, or you feel lonely, therefore you can't, mind don't feel comfortable to be here and now. So whatever it may be, it is a kind of a test, kind of a taste to the mind to be here and now doing nothing. It's so difficult. Like a wild buffalo taken to the village from the wilderness and try to tie to a peg. And you can imagine how much it is fighting with the peg as well as fighting with the rope. So likewise, we try to see, therefore, many say without such a rope and without such a tie, very difficult to keep the wild buffalo in the village. So after so much of experimenting, so much of years, the Buddha suggesting, if your mind is seeking, asking that kinds of a peg, consider your breathing as your peg. And if you need to tie the pig and the wild buffalo, mindfulness as the thread. So to be mindful on the breath is the simple advice. Whenever you find difficult to feel the breath or any uncomfortability, instead of the breath, you can see as the in-breath happens, your body is expanding to your clothing, and when the out-breath is happening, exhalation, the body will be relaxed. So in-breath, out-breath, as well as this expansion, contraction happening in the rhythmic way, that may be the object of meditation or pivotal point. So we are trying as a group how many breath cycles, or how many expansion, contraction, or how many seconds we can just be here and now. We label that being here and now as the mindfulness, and that mindfulness is synonym for the apamana. So I am going to ring a bell as a starting point, and that bell sound is naturally fading off, waning off. As the bell sound disappears, try to be with your posture, and before going to the bell, adjust yourself to make it yourself comfortable. And then with the bell, we are going to go into the mindful breathing, mindful sitting, till the next bell sound happens. thank you very much for your cooperation. So this way we try to incorporate the diligence, appamada, or mindfulness, sati, into our life by doing nothing and try to understand how the monkey mind is working. If it is necessary, we are trying to keep it with the breath or rising and falling of your body or your sitting posture. So this is the normal, the starting point for someone to taste with the mindfulness. That's what we do with the children in Sri Lanka in the school community. The other part is that as I try to mention, while you are pacing up and down walking, how to keep mindfulness. It's if I am to give a comparison, in sitting we try to cut off everything and let the mind to be in here and now and to experience the freedom, experience the unknown. But in walking, we give intentional work. That means we are walking by right leg, left leg, right leg, left leg. It is not like passive breathing. In breath also you can do voluntarily, you can do forced breathing or natural breathing, but the natural effortless breathing is the one we are promoting. But in walking, definitely you have to do, and while mind is having the intention or volitional walking happen, you have to keep the track. When the right leg is keeping, you can note it as right, or you feel it as right, ball, arch, the heel, ball, arch, and the toe slide. And when the left leg is kept, you can feel it, and further you can say the hardness, softness, coolness, heat, roughness, all the kind of thing. So these are the points to see whether mind is really mindful in walking. So therefore in the sitting meditation, doing nothing and try to be mindful, and in the walking you are doing one single action. It must be a straight path. It must be a flat path. Maybe lawn or a carpet like this, or specially prepared sand bed, whatever it may be. And you are walking about 30 to 35 steps and turning around and come back to the same point and again going to the other end, and see how many steps you can consecutively keep mindfully. Left, right, 1. If you can similarly undisturbed, no wandering, still can, if you can do, we can note left, right 2, left, right 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, something like that. You have to see how many steps you can do mindfully. Of course, when you are walking like that, the wandering might happen, just like in breathing, sitting, no harm. Don't worry, that is quite natural. And when and where such a bewilderment happen, wandering happen, again bring the mind very patiently to your primary object of left and the right leg, and behave like a beginner, just a beginner's mind. And in breathing, you may keep the point of focus as your tip of the nostril or top of your upper lip, in a single place. But in walking, right leg, left leg, right leg, left leg, that can be changing. And sitting, basically your attention is to your upper part of your body, and the lower part is just fixed. But in walking meditation, the basic attention to the lower part, upper part, you are not swinging your hands, keep it tight or relaxed, focusing the attention to the lower part. In the breathing, you are working with the air element, in breath and out breath, expansion and contraction. But in walking, you do with earth element. You see hardness, softness, cool, warm, that kind of thing. And in sitting, generally it's recommended to keep your eyes closed. But in walking, recommended not to close your eyes. You must be open and you are looking somewhere 2 meters ahead. Don't look at the object in front of you, don't look at your legs. Just see about 1 or 2 meters, maybe 2 meters ahead. Therefore your eyes are bringing signals. If you are doing outdoor walking, sounds also may be there. And smells, maybe. So while these distractions are happening, how many steps you can walk? And when you are turning to the last end of your path, usually mind tend to wander off. So therefore keep the track and turn it and again start right leg, left leg, right leg, left leg. Usually it is better when you are drawing and planning a timetable, do walking meditation first and then sitting. But today we did it in the opposite way because the time it permitted, and therefore now we are going to try walking, and today few less number of people, so we can do in this hall also, and climate is fairly good, we can go to the garden also, the lawn. So those who wish, you can use this room and remove this all the things so that you can walk from this end to the other end, the other room also. And I wish to go to the park there. And main thing is, and when you are doing and practicing mindful walking, not to talk. If you are talking, the other person also will get disturbed. So do it in a SMS mode, slowly, mindfully, silently. And we are supposed to come back here at 4:15, 40 minutes, 20 minutes are there. And after that, I don't know whether a cup of tea is ready. If it is so, we can have the break and come here and go for a discussion. Anything, anyone to have some questions before going to walking meditation? Good. So I will ask Asoka to take care and Udara to hear, those people here, and I would like to go to the park. Tarandu is ready. Ready? So no noise, no talk, in the SMS mode, slowly, mindfully, silently, have a nice walking meditation. We are meeting again at 4:15 here.